This is Rob Tebbutt for Boxing Social. Delighted to be joined here today by the new WBC World Flyweight Champion, Charlie Edwards. Charlie, first and foremost, congratulations. Must be good to be introduced like that.
Yeah. I keep hearing this and they keep saying it, and I still think I'm just Charlie Edwards. Do you know what I mean? Like winning a world title, it was a dream come true, but it hasn't really changed anything for me. Like in myself, I'm the same as I'm always going to be. I'm always going to give 110% to my sport. Just because I've won that doesn't mean I'm satisfied. I want more. I want to challenge myself and push myself time and time again. And my goals in life is always to strive again. When I'm not striving and I haven't got challenges, I struggle. And like you see over the last 2 years, them 2 8-rounders I had against woeful opponents, no disrespect to them, but I shouldn't have been fighting them. I had Craig Derbyshire, who I fought my debut, fought him over 8 rounds, and got messed around a lot by Yafai about getting that fight. So it's bittersweet now, I suppose. It's all been worth it. And even though I've been down and it's been hard, I'm here, I'm world champion now. And listen, I'm a big believer in the law of attraction, and things happen for a reason in this life. And when you've got dreams of becoming something, the universe works in many ways and puts you in positions to make you need what you need at that time, and put you through circumstances, put you through heartache, put you through pain and suffering to make you really work. And it tests you at times. It tests your psyche and your belief. But when you keep believing, you will receive it.
You keep looking over to your right. For those who can't see, you've got the lovely WBC, the green and gold belt. If you just like to hold that up, it's not a bad looking belt. First and foremost, I think this is a great interview for me to do, because you're one of the first fighters who's, I don't know if you remember, we went down to the gym in Redhill and I came and took the photos when you just become British champion. Yeah. This was probably 2 years ago, and you just signed with Adam, or it was not long after you signed with Adam.
Yeah, a few months.
Tell me about kind of the last 2 years and where you were then compared to where you are now. It's been a hell of a ride.
It's been a hell of a ride, but I've had to endow that. I've had to be involved in that, and after the Cristofer defeat, I had to reassess myself and really realise what am I doing this sport for? I'm doing it to become the best of the best. So really, what am I doing sunning it up in Marbella? There's no sparring over here. It's hard to get people over for sparring, and it just wasn't for me. So I had to wipe myself down, had to really assess things of where I needed to go. And I actually went to train with Grant. I tried out Grant and Adam before I went with Adam. And I really wanted to go with Grant at the time, but I had an ex-missus who was adamant she wasn't going to Sheffield. I'm not moving to Sheffield. And really, I've probably got to be thankful for her, because going down to Adams and forced me back to London, back to my home area, it made me have to develop as a man and go through emotional things with the fact of all old memories. And, this is what, seeing things like, I used to go here with my mum. My dad used to take me here, and at the time I weren't speaking to my dad. My mum was very ill, and I had to endure that pain. And then when I went to Adam's gym, Adam taught me a lot. He's the Dark Lord, as everyone likes to call him, and he made me toughen up a lot. He made me really realise that boxing is mental. And he made me realise and really believe in probably the law of attraction, because he's like, everything's vibrations in life. So if you're positive and you're moving in the right direction and you're not letting negative things hold you back, the main thing is in life, you've got to be happy. And when you're happy, that's the key to success. And he helped me a lot. I remember I used to spar Ryan Burnett. I sparred him for the whole time he unified the division. And he really toughened me up. I remember making a joke with Adam. I was there training a few days when I first come down, and then he went, right, sparring day tomorrow. And I was like, obviously felt uncomfortable. I was like, you kind of get me bashed up, are you? I'm going to get bashed up tomorrow, making a joke. And he pulled me in the office and he was like, Charlie, I know you was joking around and that, and you was saying it, but don't think like that. Don't put pressure on yourself. Being in there, being uncomfortable, that's what you need to do to toughen yourself up and to make you, it's being comfortable in uncomfortable situations which makes a fighter. So just go in there, be emotionless, don't let things get you down, and just every day you learn. And every day I got better and better and better. And Ryan Burnett is probably one of the biggest inspirations and biggest influencers of my career today. He beat me in the amateurs. He battered me in the amateurs. We were 14-year-old kids, and I actually bit him in the fight because I was getting hurt that badly. We was only 13, and he was like a weight above me, but because of the way that England worked, I had to move up to fight if I wanted to fight. And he handed my ass to me, and since then I always knew he was a great fighter. He went on and smashed the all the amateurs, then he turned pro. And coming back and getting back in the ring with him after I had been hurt badly by him before, he was like one of the hardest punches I've been with in amateurs. So it was like a real uncomfortable situation, and I had to overcome that and dive into it and face fear head on. And I started sparring with him, and we had very competitive spars all the way through. And he taught me a lot, not only in the ring, but he taught me a lot how to be mentally, how to be zoned in. He's a big believer of the law of attraction as well, and about how the mentality rules the rest of the body. And I owe him a lot of thanks. I really do.
Tell me about, because I mean, we spoke about it when you left, Adam, and you kind of said to me like it left on good terms, and obviously you went up to Sheffield to train with Grant. What was it that kind of forced your hand, as it were, to make you up sticks and move to Sheffield? You were in Redhill, you were surrounded by people that you knew, you were in familiar surroundings. By your own admission in this interview, you were having fights that were beneath your level. What was it that kind of forced you to go up to Sheffield?
Well, when I really thought about it, like Adam's got great fighters in his gym. Josh Kelly, Michael Conlon, and Ryan Burnett. And let's be honest, at the time they were above me, and they was getting more attention, and I felt a bit unloved. And they were living with Adam and training with him, where I lived in my own apartment, and then I would go and meet them for training. So I just felt a little bit on the edge of it all. Adam was lovely to me. He was a real true friend to me, and he spoke to me a lot and things like that. But I just didn't feel that consoling love. And then obviously my mum was ill. Like my dad lived like 10 minutes around the corner from me, who I didn't speak to at the time, and I was on my own, just gone through a breakup and everything like that. So it was like it was a mad time. Also, I wasn't earning a lot of money. Like, I'm not afraid to put it out there. Like, I was on 8 rounders. I couldn't even afford. I couldn't afford to live down in London as well. So like, it was getting to the point where I've lived on my own since the age of 21, paying my own bills, paying my own way, paying this, and London's expensive, very expensive. And luckily for the sponsors that I have, especially GoPack and Rapid Response, who support me month in, month out, even when the going gets tough, even when I had no fights and I was struggling to get fights, they supported me, and they're the only reason I could carry on my boxing career, because I wouldn't have been able to. When I left London, and by the time I got to Sheffield, I was skint. And even my trainer, Grant Smith, had to help me out and give me that love and affection and consoling to set me up there. And I'm just so blessed, you know what I mean? I've been through some hard times, and being a flyweight, you don't get this multi-millionaire money that everyone thinks. And I've put all of my money back into boxing. I live my days by boxing. I'm not overly flashy. I've got a nice watch on my wrist. That's the only thing I had. I was even thinking about selling it, but I was still paying it off as well. So I didn't. It's one of the things I got for my British title fight, but I was paying it off. Now I've paid it off. I've been able to since the Nelson fight, but it's been hard, a very hard journey. It's not been smooth, and I've just had to keep believing, keep just day by day getting by, bettering myself, listening, learning. And Grant Smith has changed my life, not just my boxing career, my life. And when I sat down before I moved, I was like, I'm never going to build a life down in London. It's too much out of my price range, too much money into it. Even in getting a mortgage is too much. And for what? My career can take me anywhere. Why would I invest into London, into a little box room, when I could have a 3-bedroom house in Sheffield, no stress, nice car, nice lifestyle, and just do what I love. No traffic as well, I'd add that. And so that was the main reason. And I jumped there and never looked back. Grant's changed me complete and utter. If you look at my Butcher fight and you look at my last fight, look how much Grant has made a much difference in my thing. Even my Anthony Nelson fight, everyone said I wasn't a puncher. You can tell I'm a puncher. That's a tough fighter. And look what I've done to him. And that's because Grant stripped me back to basics, got me doing footwork drills weeks. It took me about 3 months to get them footwork drills that he was teaching me. And once I did, and we've developed in this last year together, I've only just kept getting better, and I'll only keep getting better. He's a real technician, he's a perfectionist, and he doesn't blow wind up your ass. If you do something wrong, he's pulling you on it. And some days it's hard and challenging, but I'm blessed to have him. He's like a real father figure. He loves and cherishes me, my brother. He's brought us into his family. Dalton's like our brother, Dalton Smith, and his mum, his dad, they all treat us like their own, and it's real special. And I always say a loved and cherished fighter is a very, very dangerous fighter, because being loved and cherished, that makes you happy. Having that proper, close-knit team support around you, if you can go to them about anything, any struggles you're having, and they give you their advice and you respect their advice, that takes you to another level. And I'm blessed to have Grant Smith in my life now.
I think one of the most, I wouldn't say surprising, but one of the things that kind of struck me about your fight with Rosales when you won the world title is you're somebody who always strikes me as obsessive in a good way about the sport. You're somebody who likes the detail of the sport. You're somebody who's, obsessive, I think it's a good word. In your career in the past, I mean, against Casemiro, when you've taken a shot, you've always been very keen to come back with your own shots. Against Rosales, who's a noted puncher, you took shots, but you calmed yourself down. You were very level-headed. It was a very mature performance. How much of that was you learning from the experiences that you've had, and how much of that was Grant Smith's influence on you?
Massively. From the experience with Casemiro, I was always very gung-ho, and I always thought like, oh yeah, I got too ahead of myself. I thought, yeah, look, I'll outmove someone. My angles will be too much for him. Oh, my work rate, this and that. Reality is, that's an elite level fighter, world champion, double world champion. And I went out there first round, and I remember the right hand he hit me with. Well, I don't remember it, but I know I got hit with it, and I didn't realise I got hit with it until I woke back up in like the fourth or fifth round when I hit me with an uppercut and nearly knocked me out. And I wasn't prepared to do that. I learnt from that, and I was like, this is a 12-round contest. One punch can change the fight. First round is all about feeling him out, getting his distance, working it, and feel that power. Feel, okay, I've got to watch this, got to watch that, and that's what I'd done. I lost the first round in the fight, but it wasn't a loss for me because that's what unfolded the game plan, and that's what Grant installed into me. Don't go out, don't try too much. Just have a look at him, feel his power, take the distance off him. You don't even have to throw many shots the first round. Just get aware of what he's doing. And he might have come out and thought, first round, I've won that, it's going to be an easy night's work. Walk back, comes back out, I've got his distance, I've got his range, got his speed. And now it's time to go to work. And from that point on, I was making this, frustrating him. And it was just then taking it level by level. And Grant, like I said, Grant Smith has changed me a hell of a lot. He's taught me how to be emotionless. He's taught me inside work. I've never worked on inside work before. He got me working inside, getting my head up close, getting the little tie him up, manipulating him, taking their back, getting right behind him, frustrating him. You think I took his back about 3 or 4 times, and then on the third time he was like getting frustrated and like trying to punch me from behind. And it's like when you've got someone emotionally involved and you've got someone where you want them, that's when you can turn the screw slowly, not take any risks, especially at world level with a big puncher. Slowly take the fight away from him, and that's what we did.
How hard did he punch? I mean, he knocked out Paddy Barnes in 4 rounds. You've been in there with Casemiro, who's obviously another puncher. Compare the two, who hit harder?
Casemiro. But I was inexperienced. Reality is, Rosales could hit harder, but I was clever about my work. I took the half step, took the distance from him. When he was throwing his punches, he wasn't in the pocket. I wasn't standing there swinging with him like Paddy Barnes did stupidly. I was taking that distance, making him come over his front foot, making him get frustrated. Then after a while, he probably was trying to load up, thinking, I'm going to hit him with this. And then when you've got that and someone starts getting aggressive and lets their emotion take over their ability, the more he's trying to hit me hard, the more he's showing me where it's coming from, the more I'm aware. Casemiro hit so hard because I didn't see the shot coming. I was prepared as well. Mentally, I visualised it time and time again. I was prepared to go to hell and back in that fight. And it doesn't matter how hard he was going to hit me, I was ready for it. And I over-prepared myself for how hard he was going to hit. Also, I was sparring a bantamweight European champion, Karim Garfi, who's a big puncher. Also, I've been sparring Ryan Bennett, who's also a massive puncher. And then I had Tom Bell, who's a super bantamweight featherweight, who's who's 5'10", 5'10". And to be honest, in one of the spars, Tom caught me off balance and put me down in my second 6-round spar of the camp. And again, I didn't let that negativity affect me. I thought, I'm so glad this has happened to me now. That just goes to show what Grant was saying. Don't get too greedy. That was in the first round as well. Don't get too greedy. Don't try too hard in the first round. Take your time. And I learned valuable lessons for that. And it's about learning. Too many fighters want to make up their Superman. They want to turn away and not be open and honest. But it is what it is. And in sparring, you learn. And that was probably a massive, massive turning point of my mentality. Also as well, I think I was very gung-ho and I used to work loads because I'm extremely fit and I train myself very hard. I've been taking CBD now, love hemp, and it chills me out, it relaxes me, and it stops me from fighting on panic, uptight. It makes me relax and makes me chill out in there and not be so I need to throw out 10 punches to your one. And it's all just mindset. It's all being aware of things, being uncomfortable, making sure you're comfortable and not panicking in uncomfortable situations.
So we're just being interrupted by I'm Too Sexy by Darren Barker, former...
He's done me up here, isn't he?
Former middleweight champion of the world.
Hey, you're going to get me some right stick now.
New entrance music for the first defence. Cheers, Darren. Talk to me about Sheffield with Sonny. How good, first and foremost, has it been to be reunited with your little brother? You two are very similar, but also very, very different in a lot of ways. How good has it been to reunite with Sonny in Sheffield?
We're chalk and cheese, really, on all aspects. Me and my dad was having a conversation the other day, yeah, and if you could put me and Sonny fuse us together as a fighter, wow, we would be unstoppable. But we've got unconditional love for each other. We've grown up from each other from a young age. We've got each other's back through thick and thin, always there for each other when the going gets tough. And to be there, training alongside each other, competing again against each other, trying to get one up on each other, it's all healthy competition. And we care about each other. If he's slacking, I'll tell him. If I'm slacking, he'll tell me. So we're lucky we're living this dream together. And like I've said on many occasions, and people laughed before the fight because they weren't believing what I was believing and what I knew what was going to happen. Our dream is to become like the mini Klitschko's in the flyweight division, the Edwards brothers, and a dream's become reality. We believe it, and all the doubters out there, I'm sure we're going to change your mind in years to come.
Said to me after the fight that he might call you out this year. Is that just Sonny being Sonny?
Sonny being Sonny. He's funny. We always have banter about it. Me and Grant I was like, Sonny, you want to be careful. I'll iron you out now, you know. That's how we are. We just banter each other, and listen, why not put it in the media? It gets people talking. It's a bit of fun and laughter. Do you know what I mean? But I'm sure he'll be world champion before we know. Or what we want to do is we want to get 2 belts each and then fight each other in a undisputed flyweight clash.
Where does Cal Yafai fit into all of this? A large portion of the time that we've known each other, Cal Yafai's name has popped up. Obviously, he's in the weight above, which you've boxed at before. Is it going to be unification with Tanaka, Maslany? What's kind of the future for you, and where does Cal Yafai fit into that, if at all?
We'll have to do a catch weight, won't we? No, I want the unification fight against Miflane Moretti. He's been undefeated in 10 years. I want these big fights, do you know what I mean? Like I said, when I moved down to flyweight, I'm in this to fight everyone and anyone. I want all these titles. He knocked out Casemiro as well, who beat me. And he's beat Solani Tete, only lost once by a cut. So he's a big guy out there and very experienced, very mature man. And he's just defended his IBF title. So that's the fight I kind of want mostly next. But at the end of the day, we might have a rematch clause put into place with Rosales. So just got to wait and see when Eddie gets back. We're going to have a sit-down meeting, MTK and Eddie, and we'll go from there. But these big fights are out there. Cal Yafai, I want and I will beat when the time's right. It's gonna happen, whether it's sooner or later. I'm ready whenever. Eddie, if he wants to make a big fight up in Birmingham, I'll go to his backyard. I'll beat him in Birmingham. It's just one of them. Like I'm not shying away from the fight. He's shied away from it on a number of occasions now, and said it's because I'm not at that level. If you go on the back of the last 2 performances, the British public ain't stupid, and they can see why now. All that time ago, he was brushing me aside like I was a no one. But it is what it is. I've got a lot of respect for Cal. He is a great fighter. He is an elite fighter. He is a world champion, but I don't believe he's had the right defences or challenging defences. He's very hand-picked his career, and it was a vacant title he picked up. And I know he beat Rosales when Rosales was 21, but he's also said Rosales is his hardest fight on an interview. So it goes to show what level I'm operating at now. And it's a fight that's going to be out there, and it's going to be massive. Like, how can you not want that fight? For Sky TV, 2 flyweights, 2 rivals, GBs, fighters, it makes sense. And it will be massive for 2 flyweights to get it on and actually make the flyweight division more, flyweight or super flyweight division, more recognisable to the British public. It'd be a great story, that's for sure.
Okay, and just finally, because I know you've got a room full of people desperate to speak with you. I was in the dressing room after the fight. I wasn't able to grab an interview with you because you had to do the drug testing and the sort of the less glamorous side of kind of post-fight stuff. It was a very emotional dressing room. Your mum was in there. Something that we've spoken about away from the camera is kind of the hardships and the things that you've gone through as a family. Just tell me a little bit about kind of what you've been through the last couple of years and how much sweeter it's made to be able to deliver this world title for not just yourself but your family.
Yeah, my mum's been ill for like the last 4 years. I've tried to keep it away from the boxing scene because obviously there's a lot of haters and trolls and people who get involved and say nasty things. My way to deal with it was to just put my head into boxing and keep that separate from my reality. So my boxing was always my escape. She's been through 3 major head surgeries. She had a cavanoma in the brain that developed into a brain tumour through radiotherapy, and yeah, she's gone through it all. We've said goodbye to her on a number of occasions, and I promised her the world title before I went to the Casemiro fight. Reality was I wasn't good enough. That broke me more than anything, and that's why I've been calling for world title so soon, because I don't know how long I've got left with her. Touch wood, she's going to be around for a long time, but reality is she's on up, down all the time, and it's been a hard journey, but we've got a good, close-knit circle who support me and my brother. Me, my brother and my sister are really tight, and my sister's been the rock from all this, so we're lucky to have her who full-time cares after her, but it was bittersweet, and it was a promise that I fulfilled, and the relief of feeling that promise to my mum, seeing her face, seeing her smile, seeing her big blue eyes, telling her she's proud of me. I'm never going to lose that. No matter what happens to my mum now, I've fulfilled that promise that I said I was going to do, and she believed in me from the start. Before she went down for her first operation, she said to me, she went, "You never give up on your boxing, you never give up on your dream. You are going to be a world champion one day." And that just makes the dream come true.
Okay, well, Charlie Edwards, you've come an awful long way since that photo shoot in Red Hill with your British title. Congratulations on becoming the WBC World Flyweight Champion. Wish you nothing but the best in 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, the new WBC Flyweight Champion of the World, Charlie Edwards.
Thank you.